Okay, thank you everybody for coming along to our first 15 jersey presentation. I would just like to make a comment that due to circumstances at the present time, it was unfortunate we couldn't have parents here, but we have arranged for this to be videoed so that good afternoon parents if you're able to get onto this and watching on YouTube a little bit later on this afternoon. So thank you for your attendance by remote. This is a very short ceremony. It's a tradition that we started, a very young tradition compared to a lot of the old traditions that we have at Ipswich Grammar School. But we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now, and it is a way in which we are able to recognise, and today especially, not just the 15 players who will be running on in the white jersey tomorrow against the first 15 at Toowoomba, but also the whole squad. And this year we have a whole squad of 30 players, and each and every one of them are very deserving. And if not in that 15 tomorrow, certainly are contenders during the season and are on the bench and so forth. So I really do want to stress that we acknowledge and recognise the full squad of 30, not just the 15 who will be getting their jerseys for tomorrow. I said about traditions, we have it in here because this is the lifeblood of Ipswich Grammar School. So the 1863 year of starting up was right here, was this building. So everything history-wise is in here. The squad has been having Friday evening meals after our training in here so that we can absorb and take on the atmosphere and the traditions here. Every single name on these boards around here have a story, tell a story, and there's so many of them that it's just it boggles the mind as to how much there is. Lots and lots of names. You could pick any name around, and there would be a very interesting story. Some of you sitting here in front may well have your names on one or more of the boards around. As I said, without being able to have parents here this afternoon due to the circumstances that we're under throughout the world, it's very easy to say, woe is us, and isn't it terrible? It's been a really horrific and horrible year. But I just want to put it into perspective a little bit. First of all, and first and foremost, is that the fact that we are here this afternoon and that we are travelling up to Toowoomba tomorrow and playing competition, that there is a competition, is fantastic, and we need to be grateful of that. And I know that with the headmaster here this afternoon, Mr. Morrison, and his contemporaries, the other headmasters, really worked hard to be able to facilitate our Term 3 sport. So we do like to acknowledge and show our appreciation for the season to be able to go ahead. So join me in congratulating. Thank you. Here's a photo of the Ipswich Grammar School 1895 first 15. Very significant in a number of ways. As I said, there's lots of names on these boards and they have a story and so forth. Front and centre, sitting down, is the headmaster of the day, Mr. Cameron, and I think he was the 3rd headmaster of Ipswich Grammar School. In the back row, on the left, if you look reading at the name, so back row, the first one on the left there is surname Cameron. His name is Donald Cameron, also the same name as the headmaster, and it's his son. So that's the headmaster's son standing there, and he was a long term, 2 or 3 years in the first 15 at Ipswich Grammar School. So I'm just highlighting him as an example. It could be any one of the 15. And looking at what they would have experienced. So he was born in 1877, as would have a lot of those boys that you're looking at there. They would be 17 or 18 in that photo. And being born in 1877, I wanted to. I had help from Miss Pitty, our history teacher, to map out some of the things that they would have experienced having lived a reasonable length of time. So Donald Cameron himself lived way up into the 1960s. He was in his 70s when he passed away. So what he experienced in his lifetime and what a lot of those boys experienced wasn't all doom and gloom, and no pun intended, but in 1879 was when Thomas Edison first tested his light bulb. So when he first had artificial light, and that was in 1879. Jack the Ripper in 1888, so what they were experiencing. The boys that came with us on the rugby tour to Europe last year, we did the Jack the Ripper tour, night tour, in London. Some of us got quite scared, but Jack the Ripper, he was doing that in 1888 when these boys were just a couple of years old. The Olympic Games, the modern Olympic Games, started up again in Athens in 1896. Boer War, 1899 to 1902. The sinking of the Titanic in 1912. 1914, the start of World War I. 1918, the end of World War I. 1919, the Spanish flu, and I believe it's something millions of people died worldwide in through the Spanish flu. Much, much, much more than what's happened with COVID so far. 1930, the Depression. 1939, Nazi invasion of Poland, which was the beginning of World War II. 1945, when America dropped atomic bombs onto cities in Japan to end World War II. 1948, apartheid in South Africa began. 1950, the Korean War. 1953, I guess good news, was when Mount Everest was first climbed and conquered, and colour TV started. 1955, Vietnam War. So someone like Donald Cameron there, standing in front of you in that photo, he would have experienced all of that in his lifetime. So I just wanted to say that to put it into perspective as to what we're going through this year. Yes, it's been difficult and continues to be, but there have been a lot of things that have gone on beforehand that people have worked through. We have a special guest here today by the name of Brett Gillespie. Brett, before I bring him out, Brett is an old boy, and talking of names and boards, if you have a look, senior prefect. So 2005, Brett was the school captain. Around the corner, out near the other door, when you see the football honour board, in 2005, Brett Gillespie, captain of rugby. So Brett was both our school captain and our rugby captain in 2005. Brett's had a career in professional rugby since then, and I spent a lot of time playing professionally in Japan. So another old boy where there's a story to tell and a name on a board. So I would like everybody to welcome Brett back to IGS. And Brett, if you could just come forward. Brett's going to help us out with presenting the jerseys, and I'd also like to ask Mr. Morrison, the headmaster, to assist with that. So in jersey number order, if I could ask the following. So for number 1, Mia Matafa. 2, Ben Murphy. 3, Sapelli Tamilo. 4, Orlando Swain. I'm sorry, I did mix that up. So 4 is Dante and Orlando 5. So Dante, number 5. And if you two can swap. My mistake. Number 6, Leandro Tupi. Number 7, Nick Mitchell. Number 8, Xavier Stiles. Number 9, Luke Dixon. Number 10, Zach Alley. Number 11, Malik Dathat Soberg. Number 12, Jed Bignell. Number 13, Ethan King. Number 14, Kyle Coburn. Number 15, Seamus King-Smith. So congratulations to all of those boys, and thank you, Headmaster. Thank you, Brett. Brett, would you like to have the opportunity to say a few words? Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thanks, Mr. McArdle. We're calling you that after 15 years still. Thank you guys so much for having me today. It's probably for you guys seeing a 30-year-old bloke up here doesn't mean too much, but for me to come back to the school and, you know, pass on, oh, I'm getting emotional. Pass on what it means to wear the jersey and what it meant to me as a 16-year-old kid when I first played first team football. And for me now to pass it on to you guys is special. It's amazing that you guys now get that opportunity to go out there and represent your school and represent yourselves, and front up with the boys next to you and put in for what footy is about is to turn up on the weekend for your mates around you and all that hard work that you guys have now put in. It means nothing because tomorrow it all starts, right? Like the GPS season's short. There's no second chances. There's no, you know, next week or second round to get revenge. I mean, we played down here on number 4. I can still remember it was 15 years ago now when we lost to Churchie because of, you know, one pass and one missed pass, and we beat State High, you know, kicked from the sideline. I won't say anything. After full time, and those are the memories, guys, that you don't. There's no second chances. You don't get that back. So make sure you boys put it in and put it in for one another. You're representing yourselves. You're representing your school. But you're representing the guys around you, and all you guys have put in so much hard work. And now's the time, you know, to really shine. So best of luck, boys. Thank you so much for having me today. It's a big honour, and make sure you do your school and yourselves proud. So good luck. Thank you.
Okay. Just in appreciation for you coming out today, Brett, the big journey west and joining the afternoon pickup traffic line. For our appreciation. Thanks very much. Thank you. I'd also like to add that we'd like to encourage not only Brett but his peers of that year. He didn't mention much of it. It was a very successful year, apart from, as he said, close to being a premiership. But not only Brett, but there were a total of 3 of IGS boys who represented us at the Australian Schoolboys in that year. So we'd just like to issue that invitation to Rhett and any of his peers to come to any of the games under conditions, Headmaster, if they want to follow you boys and watch the games. But once again, thanks very much, Brett, for giving up your time and coming out. Thank you. All right, well, that concludes our ceremony this afternoon. The boys, you have to get changed, and you're going down onto the oval and you're doing a bit of running. And then we have our evening meal back in here a little bit later. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to the adults, the staff that are here. And to those watching at home on YouTube, thank you very much. Thank you.